His Excellency President Benigno Aquino III, President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Thank you. Thank you. Please sit down. The ever-persevering Mr. Dado Banatao, who saw me last July, at which point we had just started governing, and I couldn't give him a straight answer as to being able to attend tonight. Don Jaime and Doña Bea, very good and dear friends of long standing of our family. Doña Bea was my mother's protector right after the snap election. She was the one who hid my mother from those who had evil intentions. Very good friend, Fernando. One of the first to commiserate with us when my father was assassinated. Trustees of the Philippine Development Forum, Mr. Richard Blum, whom I notice is a true friend of the Philippines, as evidenced by the barong you're wearing tonight. It fits you a lot better than Secretary Almendres' barong. Miss Vicky Garchitorena, the very dynamic Miss Garchitorena. Various chairs, sponsors, honorees, and speakers at tonight's Philippine Development Forum Gala, captains of industry, our colleagues in the Philippine government, Pia, I see you tonight, and my friend Chis Escudero, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, mga minamahal ko pong kababayan. Napapag-isip po ako, baka dapat mag-thank you na para makakain na kayo. However, I did have something in the neighborhood of a 12-page speech, which I have condensed to 2 pages. The problem with being the last speaker is normally you are blamed if people get hungry. Let me start out in this manner. We'll be going home tomorrow night, and even though we've been here for roughly about a week or so, some of us are very homesick, especially those amongst the delegation who are married. And this noon, we went to the Seasons Marketplace and had a fantastic lunch at the Max restaurant there. Dami hubang ads. But I think the main thing that I wanted to point out was there were a lot of Filipinos there. They waited until we finished the lunch. We had such a warm welcome and send-off. And I couldn't help but think, these are people who left the Philippines probably because of a lack of opportunities in our home country, have gone on to make a mark in this new land of theirs, still thinking kindly of the country that they left, still concerned about what is happening in our motherland and especially to our beloved people. And I couldn't help but say, I am really impressed and I really admire all of you. And your presence tonight even adds to that admiration that I had this lunchtime. And why do I say that? How many of you at one point or another did not feel dejected and say, what's the point of helping our countrymen? The system is wrong, the politicians are corrupt, our people just get worse and worse, and whatever assistance we do amounts to nothing. And I wouldn't be able to blame you. There are days in the past when I said, are we really destined to go from bad to worse, and if it's possible, even worse conditions? However, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of the numerous times that you let your hopes soar only to have it dashed, you are still around. You are still assisting our country and our countrymen. And on their behalf, may I thank you this evening. In our first month in office, we were inundated with a lot of bad news. Butch Abad, our Secretary of Budget and Management, at one point kept reporting to me around 4 or so in the afternoon. And normally it was bad news. I had to remind him, Butch, your responsibility is to give me the news. Be it bad, be it good. Can I have a schedule for the good news to replace the bad that you keep bringing? So what he did was to ask his co-members of the cabinet to be the ones who deliver the other bad news. However, come August, and this I was really surprised, let me share with you some of the good news. In our second month in office, first of all, what did we find out in the first month in office? Amongst the items that were left behind was practically a mere 10% of the national budget to take care for the remaining half of the year. Everything else, it was obligated. Sa Tagalog po, ginastos na bago kami dumating. But surprisingly, come August, and perhaps through the work of our secretaries, and especially Butch Abad, we posted a surplus for the August account in the national budget, in spite of the fact that very little was left to us. And may I just, at this point, be a little less humble? Can we just share with you some of the other things that have happened our way? We got elected basically by trust. Trust that we would make a difference, trust that we could change the system, trust that the Filipino deserved better. And this trust has been responsible, excuse me, for among other things, a stock market that at the present time keeps on growing from high to high. It will go up, corrects a little, goes up further, corrects a little again, then keeps on going on an upward trajectory, and we are very, very proud of this. But more than anything else, we are more proud that we were managed to get cabinet secretaries to accept a pittance of their former salaries and already deliver results to the people. Amongst them, Secretary Singson of the Department of Public Works and Highways, which normally rates the highest in terms of agencies perceived most corrupt, has already succeeded, amongst other things, in saving, excuse me, about 2.5 billion pesos for an item called slope protection. How did he do this? There is a Filipino member of the academe working out of the Bicol University who at one point said, why is the Bicol University concentrating on rice and corn when the overwhelming dominant product of the Bicol region has to deal with coconuts and copra? He has developed a technology called coco coir, and also a byproduct, something called coco peat. Coco coir replaces concrete in our slope protection. We save 2.5 billion pesos every year, and we only spend the remaining 500 million for the entire country. Doing right saves the people 2.5. Another way of looking at this, we have 2.5 billion new pesos to share with education, with health, and with other opportunities. We were asked, why go to America? Why spend 25 million pesos at the point in time when I'm asking for austerity? Amongst the reasons, there was the Millennium Corporation's grant of $430 million. And I repeat, a grant, it is not a loan, to help us in our fight against poverty, and to help us to improve the performance of our BIR, amongst other things. So I think from a cost-benefit analysis, spending 25 million pesos and having $430 million pumped into our economy is a very good deal. Do you agree? However, that's just the appetizer. Through the efforts of our economic team, Secretaries Purisima, Domingo, and Almendras, who has lost a lot of weight in this trip, we have had so many meetings with various corporations from America and North America. Tens of thousands of jobs will be resulting from investments that they will make. Amongst them will be a new 600 megawatt power plant for Luzon. The investments, I think I will have to reveal when I get to Manila. Can we just say that they are an order and a factor of an order tremendously greater than even the 430 million that we are already bringing home?